Search functions or Vlookup, match, Vlookup match, or even index match searches a certain value in a range. I want to jump to Excel and start searching. This is a personal form with their names and IDs, and each one's salary with increment. Vlookup function. Let's ask you some questions and you try to answer them. The first question is, what is written near Anderson at the third column? What did you do? You found Anderson first and started counting. 1, 2, 3. So your answer should be 550. The second question. Who is the person with 13,320 ID at the second column? Here, if I find ID and start from ID column, the second column is James. Regardless of what your answer to these questions is, I have to say you have done exactly Vlookup function here. That is, you found something in this table and then said how much or who was entered in front of that. So, Vlookup function finds a value, it is the known value, in a range and says how much what is typed in front of that value. Exactly what you did to answer A and B questions. Lookup means search. V is vertical. So Vlookup is vertical search. Now I'm going to use Vlookup function here to answer A and B questions. I type Vlookup. It appears. Selected. It is asking us some questions. Lookup value is the known value. What is written near the Anderson name? So Anderson here is known. We can select Anderson cell. Table array. It is the range of where the function is going to be searched. Its column must start from the known value. What is known value here? Anderson. So I select the cell that starts from D column. Make sure our lookup value must be in this range. Column index number is the number of columns in the range of the selected cells. Pay attention, we have to insert a number. It is third, so I type 3. Range lookup. It is not needed. You can fill it or miss it. These square brackets in functions says that you can fill or leave. But I recommend you to fill it always in Vlookup function. We can see the options according to our needs. We can select one. I select approximate match. Then at the last press on enter. 550 is shown. Now let's go to the second question. In this question, I have known value and I need to find something. So the function is Vlookup. Vlookup value is 13,320. Select the range. Don't forget, this range must start from known value column. Index number. Because we want to look for the names, I know it is 2. Without range lookup, I press on enter. It is James. You see, without range lookup also, it is correct. But in a wide range of data, it is recommended to be filled according to our needs. Now, let's make it a little bit complex. I want you to find Samo's salary. So here we have a known input as Samo, and we know the address of salary. If it starts from name column, it would be third column. We need to find something, so we can use Vlookup. Vlookup value is Samo, but I don't know where Samo is. Here I know, but when you have 1,000 rows of names, it will be difficult to find the exact cell. In this situation, when we want to type the exact name or number instead of the cell address, we can type it in the quotation marks. Table array always starts from the known value column. It starts from name column, and the salary column is the third one. It is better to use range lookup. I select exact match and enter. 9,000. I check it. Yes, that's right. It is easy and fun, isn't it? I really enjoy to play as a detective to find any puzzle with these functions. Just learn the logic and use it anywhere in any Excel workbook in case of need. Hlookup function. We have also Hlookup. This is horizontal search. I just give an example for Hlookup. Which ID is under 11,560 ID number? Although the logic is the same like Vlookup, it looks horizontally. Under this ID is the second row, so as index I type 2 and finally enter. 12,380 is under the mentioned ID number. Pay attention, Vlookup is the most used one. Index function. Imagine you're a detective and there is a street. Some people are living here. Then I tell you I'm looking for a person who lives in this street at the second alley. The home number is 5. Here you have an exact address, but you don't know who is living in this address. Is it a she or a he? What's the name? What's his or her salary? After going to this address, everything will be clear. Now let's back to Excel. This is our street. We call street as range in Excel. Alley is a column. And house number is row. Now, can you tell me who is living in the second column, the 5th row in this range? Regardless to your answer, you have done exactly index function here. In index function, we have an address, like the row and column numbers, but we don't know what is in that cell. With help of index, we can find the value of that cell. I type index. Array is always the street name, or in Excel, it is the range. Row number is 5ths, and column number. We can fill or leave it. That's 2. Then press on enter. Index went to this address and found Samo. Index reference function. As you see, when I type index, 2 index types appears. We work with the first one. There is nothing different, just another street is added. Instead of one range, there are 2. Reference is a range, but it starts with parentheses, because we have 2 areas. I type another parenthesis here. Select the first area. Let's say our first street is somewhere here, comma, and select the second street. Then close the parentheses. The row number is 4, and the column is 2. Which street? Second. Press on Enter. It is Jack. Most of the time, we use the first index. Match function. Now, I have a name, but I don't know the address of this name. This is completely reverse form of index. Let's go through our detective game. I know Jack, and I know he is living in this street. But I don't know which alley and the house number. Since you're a detective, you access the majority of data. You must tell me where he lives. For this purpose, you have an address book. It is a match book. You know the name, and you can find the address of that name. Start to type match. Jack in double quotation, then the array. I know Jack is in the name column, so just select name as range. Exact match. And enter. Yes, he's here in the 8th house number, or in Excel we call row. Conclusion. When we have full address, but we don't know the value of that cell, we want to get the value of the addressed cell, we use index. When we have the value of a cell, but we don't know the exact address, we know the range, but we don't know the row number. In this way, we use match. And take a note that the match range is one column, not a range of columns. Now we are completely familiar with Vlookup, index, and match functions. In this step, we are going to mix them together.